Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Onslow County where a man is facing indecent exposure charges after he allegedly walked into a mini-mart naked. Here's the man on your screen. Onslow County deputies arrested 53-year-old Benjamin Brown yesterday. According to warrants, Brown had walked into the Blue Creek mini-mart on Blue Creek Road without any clothes on. Warrants say the man exposed himself to customers and employees inside the store. Brown was taken to Onslow County Jail. He was not given bond due to having pending charges in Onslow County. And we also want to bring your attention to a stalking and extortion case that has now put this man behind bars. 60-year-old Charles Robinson is accused of extortion, stalking, making a harassing phone call, and domestic criminal trespassing. According to warrants, Robinson had threatened to post a sexually explicit video of his wife if he did not receive $10,000 from her. Warrants say he and his wife are living separately at this time. The warrants go on to say Robinson had shown up at her workplace and home more than once. He allegedly made a threatening phone call to her. Pitt County deputies arrested Robinson yesterday and took him to the Pitt County Jail. Now, the man's release order says that he is not allowed to make contact with his wife. He was booked under a $15,000 bond. And now we want to turn our attention to, again, the winter weather that is gripping not just us here in eastern North Carolina, but a large portion of the country. NBC's George Salas has more.
Conditions still frozen and frigid in Nashville, and the recovery has been slow with these persistently cold temperatures and a lot of tree debris just like this that's still frozen, littering sidewalks and roadways. One hospital even reporting treating 40 children for carbon monoxide poisoning as people struggle to stay warm. We have been inside numerous homes that have been without power. People have been finding creative ways to stay warm. We even talked to a gentleman who is experiencing homelessness, who says he doesn't really want to stay at a warming center, so he's been staying on Friend. This is what this community has done. They have been neighbors helping neighbors, and you've also had troopers going door to door doing wellness checks. We actually saw one couple handing out hot chocolate in their neighborhood that has been without power for days now. Now, there have been some success stories as people are being slowly returned back to the power grid, but that recovery has been too slow for some residents who really say with day 4 of no power, it is just becoming a struggle. Adding to some frustration here, some customers have been saying they've been getting text alerts that their power has been restored when it really hasn't. And that's in part because all these linemen are doing repair work, restoring power poles. So that tells them their power is on when it really isn't. And that makes it very difficult for people that have been staying at all the hotels here who want to go back to their homes, check on their property, make sure no pipes have burst. And unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any relief in sight. Now, on the subject of the nation's airports, right now we're looking at delays and cancellations still under 1,000 or so. That number could creep up. It is still significantly better than what we've seen over the last several days, where they just start in the thousands for both delays and cancellations. So there is some cautious optimism that that may start to return to normal here in the next coming days. The other concern, of course, is with sunlight. Some of this ice will begin to melt, but of course, once the sun sets and these temperatures begin to dip, you can see a lot more refreezing. Just canvassing here, though, we are starting to see signs of more sidewalks and less ice, which again raises that optimism level here as people struggle and want to reopen their businesses, their stores, and just sort of return to a sense of normalcy, albeit these cold and frigid temperatures here in Nashville. It is still going to be a long road to recovery, and again, those issues with power continue. A lot of people just hopeful they can put all of this cold behind them sooner rather than later. Back to you.
Well, thank you, George, for that report. Of course, I've got a cousin in Tennessee, just outside of Chattanooga, and yeah, she is also dealing with those frozen conditions and power outages. Still, I believe, at least as of last check last night, she still didn't have power. So again, a very real situation right there that is impacting our neighbors off to the west. Now, for us here in eastern North Carolina, while we are a little bit warmer than what they've got in Tennessee right now, It's still cold outside, very cold. Right now, we've got air temperatures sitting in the mid-30s along the Neuse River in New Bern. Variable wind at 3 miles an hour, not producing a wind chill at this point of the day. That's not going to be lasting all day long. We will see more of a wind chill coming up later on this afternoon once those winds pick up a little bit more. Right now, most of us are looking at the mid-30s. Some of us are sneaking into the upper 30s. A few of us still hanging out in the low 30s. But everyone, again, is significantly colder than average, but we are warmer than where we were yesterday at this point. Now, northerly breeze right now coming in at a fairly mild 4 to 8 miles an hour through this afternoon. Expect highs to get into the upper 30s under mostly sunny skies. But winds will go very light tonight and eventually turn a little bit more southwesterly as we head towards midnight tonight. There will be a little bit of cloud cover present, but I'm anticipating cold fronts moving through the east. We'll have one that fully passes over eastern North Carolina later on tonight into tomorrow morning. That will reinforce the cold air. Then we will have another one coming in late Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. That again just introduces more cold air into eastern North Carolina. Of course, this sets the stage for what is right now looking like a snowy weekend. Now, the area of low pressure that we've been waiting to develop, well, there you can see it on your screen over Mississippi. Not the spot where, of course, we need it, but it is going to be drifting its way southeastward over the northern Gulf, moving over Florida, and once it moves off the east coast of Florida from there, it starts to cruise just off the coast of the Carolinas, but again, close enough to give us a shot of some moisture. So here's what we've got coming up Friday evening at around 7 p.m. There you can see that moisture starting to kind of coalesce around a central point. You've got snow over the mountains. You've got some raindrops over Jacksonville, Florida, but a larger rain kind of zone you're seeing there just off the coast of South Carolina and off the coast of Cape Fear. Low pressure system developing. It will again push more moisture over eastern North Carolina once we get into, I would say, more so Saturday morning than Friday night. But most of us are going to be waking up to some snowflakes coming down if this model run holds coming up Saturday morning. Now from there, it looks like the system again is going to linger near the coast Saturday night, keeping us in that snow zone all the way through Sunday morning, at that point, the low is really going to start to take off and cruise out of eastern North Carolina. So it's looking like a Saturday morning to Sunday late morning, midday event. Obviously, we can still see some adjustments with that forecast because if that low gets a little bit too close to eastern North Carolina, it starts to turn some of that would-be snow into either a snow, sleet, freezing rain mixture or, like we saw last weekend, straight up freezing rain or just rain. So again, track really matters. This is when that low gets too close. You start to see, again, the rain shower showing up along the coast. Right now, this is more what we're looking at. An opportunity, again, for snow throughout eastern North Carolina, but along the immediate coast may still end up with more of a mix present. Now, if that low decides to scoot its way further eastward, it starts to take moisture away, and that leaves less with snow, but it really guarantees snow for the coast. Maybe not much, but again, you will again see some snow along the coast again if it takes its path. Now, if that low continues to work its way eastward, it will completely remove the moisture field and leave us with absolutely nothing. But at this point of the game, I'm not anticipating us turning dry from such a shift. I don't think at this point a shift like that is going to be possible. So for now, it does again look like we are going to be seeing snow over the weekend. The question now is, where is that low actually going to end up? Where is it going to track? And how much moisture are we going to see move over that colder air? It does not take much moisture in order to create quite a bit of snowfall. So even though the snowfall rates really don't look all that impressive, the duration of snow that we are going to see will lead to some accumulations. Right now, trying to predict where those accumulations are going to end up, still too early in the game. Not an easy thing to do, and it's one that the likelihood of us being wrong is fairly high if we were to give you that prognostication. So for right now, we are calling it a weekend that is going to be very cold, likely going to be seeing snow across a hefty portion of eastern North Carolina, if not all of eastern North Carolina, but how much snow has yet to be determined. We'll see a lot of the stuff that sticks on the ground stick around all the way through Monday. Monday's high 36 degrees. Yeah, we'll have some sunshine. Air temperatures will be a little bit above that freezing point, that 32-degree mark, but it is again going to be snowfall, and snow is a very good insulator and doesn't melt away as quickly as you think. Now, by the time we get to Tuesday afternoon, temperatures in the 40s, that's going to create quite a bit of melt. But again, mid-30s on Monday, enough snow can actually adjust those temperatures, actually bring them down a little bit more, and that, of course, will limit any sort of melt we see as we head through Groundhog Day. Wednesday, 45 degrees, certainly going to be warm enough to melt anything left over on the ground. Of course, we will be getting cold again after that. Now, we do have a comment from Bernice Davis. All birds in our field are getting ready for the snow again. They are amazing creatures. Bernice, couldn't agree more. It's one, when you start to see Mother Nature starting to get ready for an incoming system, it kind of tips you off that, okay, maybe these meteorologists, maybe they're onto something on this time. This time, they're good. But we'll see again how everything plays out. We'll have a much more accurate picture of this system, I think, by the time we get to tomorrow night. By that point, again, model data should have a fairly good handle on the track of that low, and that will give us the type of confidence we would need in order to, again, put out the snowfall maps that I know you guys are hoping for. Now, from Jacob Israel, if snowfall accumulation is significant, how would travel conditions look throughout Monday? Jacob, initially, travel on Monday, I don't think we're going to see much of it. I think everything, again, is likely going to end up, if, again, this is assuming that model runs that we're seeing right now hold steady. If that is the case, then I do anticipate most roads, specifically early Monday morning, going to be impassable. Once maybe if you can get behind a DOT truck that's going to be kind of shoveling or pushing some of that snow off the road, there you're looking at some improving conditions. But I am anticipating snow and potentially compacted snow and ice on the roads as we wake up early on Monday. As we make our way through Monday, of course, the more DOT crews work, the more obviously we're going to see cleared out. But everything refreezes again Monday night into Tuesday morning. So any sort of natural melt we see, or any sort of melt with the assistance of brine and salt, that will have an impact so long as those air temperatures stay above, with the salt, I would say more 30, 29 degrees. But overnight lows are dropping down into the teens, mid-teens, coming up Sunday night into Monday morning. So again, everything is just going to be, I would say, rough out there on the roads. I'm not anticipating much happening on the roads coming up on Monday. If, again, everything holds as is, weather data wise, then I think it's looking likely that at this point school may be canceled on Monday, and I'm assuming quite a few businesses are also going to be shutting down for Monday again, if everything holds. That is the biggest caveat in all of this. We could see an adjustment that would really take maybe some of that snow away, like if that low decides it wants to work its way either too far east or too far west. But for now, that's what I would anticipate for Monday. Jacob, fantastic question. Thank you for joining me over on Facebook. And Amber Hall, hoping for some snow in Hubert. Do you have time right now to explain the 10-to-1 ratio? Ray, I see you showing up. Coming up, this next update, we will do an explanation on the 10-to-1 ratio for you. I appreciate you again joining me over on Facebook. But yeah, right now, I've got to get working on right now an update coming up at 2:30. Normally we do a Charlie Loves Science explanation of some of the developments in the scientific community that are helping advance human nature. But with this system coming up, I want to go through a detailed look at what happened with last week's system and how we can take those lessons from, jumping on, model data too early and then getting disappointed with cold rain, and how we're looking at how that system may relate to this system this week. So again, that's coming up at 2:30. We'll have a 10-to-1 ratio explanation coming up at noon. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll be back here at the top of the hour with more news and weather.